Hi, everybody. It's Helen McConnell here from helenmcconnell.com. And today I'm going to give you kind of an advanced lesson on emotional freedom. In my group call the other day, one of the participants asked, how do I know the difference between feelings that I want to honor and just reacting to my feelings? So I want to kind of go over that because that's a really great question, but it's not generally the answer isn't accessible to new people, new beginners, people who are just beginning to check out their emotional stuff. So here's was kind of what we went over in that call. First of all, there are no bad or wrong emotions or feelings, none. However, not all of them are helpful, and not all of them have we learned to accurately interpret. In fact, most people react to their feelings based on old habits. I want you to think about that. Is there a feeling that you avoid? You just avoid, like, oh, I don't want to go there, don't want to talk about it. That's a classic. Something feels really uncomfortable to that person and they don't want to look at it or feel it. And my take on that is that that is a way to that's a habitual response that is suppressing your emotions and feelings. All emotions and feelings is energy in the body, but they feel so bad or they feel so scary or they feel so uncomfortable that we tend to not even want to have an inkling of them. We don't want to tap through them. We don't even want to look at them. And that's causing problems. There are an awful lot of adult people, big people walking around in big adult bodies who are emotionally 4-year-olds because they've never learned how to experience their feelings. There are lots of people who only know how to react to their feelings, and reacting to our feelings is probably one of the least mature things we can do. Okay. When we're babies, sure, we react to our feelings. We are hungry, we are messy, we are tired, and we react. We cry out and we get hopefully some form of comfort from that. But as we begin to get older, and trust me, most people don't learn this because they don't teach it in schools, and most parents don't understand this, but imagine if when you had an uncomfortable feeling and you just wanted to lash out, or you just wanted to cry, or you just wanted to hit something, imagine that a loving adult, and you can use your imagination to imagine Jesus or Mary Magdalene or Buddha put their arms around you and hold you for a minute and says, it's okay. These feelings that you're having are okay. They'll pass. And let's get through this together so we don't hurt anybody. Imagine that. And you just know you're not judged. Somebody's there to protect you and soothe you and comfort you and help you move on to the next moment without creating more feelings, because in that last moment you hurt somebody physically or emotionally. This is what tapping is so good for. If you can't imagine being held by a deity or an angel or something like that, you start tapping. And it is, to me, I've always said it's kind of like being able to hold my own hand through something that at first may be uncomfortable. But those uncomfortable feelings become habit because we've never completed the old emotion. It probably started when you were 2 or 3 or 4 years old. That old emotion, just anytime anything comes up that reminds me of that old emotion, I have a knee-jerk reaction to that feeling, to that sensation, to that the thought that goes with it, or whatever you want to say. But that just leads us to a repetitive, habitual life, not to our consciousness expansion, to our spiritual expansion. So what do we do? First of all, we have to practice. Don't expect to get perfect at this instantly. In fact, the more you practice and the more you implement these tools into your life, the deeper you will go to deeper feelings that you've been ignoring your whole life. It's totally human. But a lot of people I know expect to feel better and never feel bad again. And that's just not human. That's just not life. Life is very up and down. And so our reactions, our emotions, the energy of life coming through us feels up and down. It's like, up and down. So my goal in working with people with emotional freedom technique, with tapping, is to help people find what I call dynamic equilibrium. It's a balance, but it's dynamic. It's not rigid. Rigidity, life isn't rigid. Nature isn't rigid. So we have to learn how to kind of float with it. Imagine if you've ever gone surfing or body surfing, or even just floated on your back in the ocean. You know how the ocean, not where it's super huge waves, although that's possible too, but where it's not so, where there aren't so many big waves. It's just, you're just floating along, and you go up, over and down, up, over and down, or you ride that wave and bring yourself out of the wave, and you start again. So at this point, I want to reiterate that there are no bad emotions or feelings. There are negative and positive emotions and feelings, but they're not bad. But it depends on how we react to them. If you think that this feeling that happens when, okay, let's say you're sitting down to file your taxes and you get all scrunched up or whatever. That's not the best example. If you get a feeling when your boss says, "Hey, could you come into my office?" and you just think, "Oh shit." That's an old feeling. I promise it is, because you're not reacting to your boss is simply asking you to come into the office. You're reacting to wherever your thoughts go, into the past or into the future based on the past. And so feel those feelings. If you have the time, I'd say sit before you go in and say, "Oh, you can say, I'll be right in," and just sit for a minute with the feelings and tap on the side of your hand and feel the energy. Don't try to figure them out. Don't try to get rid of them. Tapping is not so that you can get rid of feelings. But what tapping does is allow you to bring the feeling, the energy of the feeling up and out. Our physical body, our nervous system, is meant to be a conduit for this emotional energy, this feeling energy. It's not meant to be a container. A conduit, not a container. We're meant to conduct that energy right through us like an electrical wire. We're not meant to hold on to it. Take a deep breath and just notice how all of that feels. And now before I close, and I've got another, you can watch before I close, and you can check out a lot of my other videos to see where to go next. Before we close, let's just do this. Let's do some wordless tapping. You don't need to use any words. I want you to notice what all of this makes you feel like. I mean, what these words cause you to feel. The first thing I want you to realize is, if I have said something that causes a feeling in you or causes an emotion in you, it is not me doing that. It's not even my words doing that. It is your reaction to your thoughts about what I've said. And I love that because it gives us so much power. Oh, you mean I can learn how to manage the thoughts that I have about things and manage my feelings about the thoughts that I have about things? Yes, absolutely. But no one ever taught us. It's not your fault, but you can learn starting now. And doesn't matter how old or how young you are, you can start learning this. If you have young children, begin to teach them that just because they had a thought about something doesn't mean it's true and real. And even though it feels dramatic, the event might be true and real, but their thoughts and feelings about it, we don't want to diss their feelings, but we don't want them to have these things bother them their whole lives. So you want to help walk your kids through that. You can help your parents walk through things if they're open to it, but you need to take care of you first, okay? Put on your own oxygen mask first. All right, so let's just do this. After all of this talking, just start tapping around on the tapping points. Start at the top of the head. Just gently. We're not even going to say anything. Tap on your eyebrow point. Out here on the side. Take my glasses off. And just keep tapping around. If you don't know the points, you can keep your eyes open. Otherwise, take a deep breath and gently close your eyes as we tap. I'll say the names of the points just as a reminder. Collarbone, under the arm, back to the top of the head, eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, on the chin, collarbone, under the arm. Take a deep breath in and go around one more time. I won't say anything. Good, and then just take a deep breath and really stretch your arms out and get things moving. I like silent tapping because it really allows me to keep my eyes closed and just notice what comes up. Sometimes I will get the most incredible inspiration just by doing a little closed, wordless tapping with my eyes closed. If you're stuck on anything, close your eyes if you can, not when you're driving or anything, but close your eyes and do wordless tapping. You don't even have to say, even though. Just start tapping. It's so powerful. That's how powerful this technique is. It allows us to access our unconscious mind, our soul, if you will, our heart, and our body, and our highest wisdom. And when all those things are working together, which tapping allows them to do, we can become unstoppable. I'm not saying overnight everything's going to be perfect. It's never all going to be perfect. But if you were to spend a few minutes each day in the morning just wordlessly tapping and not doing anything else, sit and wordlessly tap, set a timer, 3 minutes, and jot down any ideas or thoughts or inspiration that comes up. All right, I hope this is helpful. I've got another video coming up right after this, and it's called, and it's about the fear of getting in trouble, okay, which happens to be a really common thing amongst adults, people my age. Up until I was like 64, 63 or 64, I used to be afraid I was going to get in trouble. And so in this video, this next video, the fear of getting in trouble, we're going to explore kind of where that comes from and how to alleviate the fear of getting in trouble. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share this video with anyone who you think it might help, and I'll see you soon.